Kid LY, and I'm just here to talk with you guys about everything that's been going on. Um, Frankly, I'm thinking that, you know, change needed to come. I believe that people have been fed up for too long with what's been going on, and this is kind of was going to be the end result. Like, when people have been protesting for so long about wanting change, real change, and you're not getting that change. You know what I'm saying? It's like having like a cake of equality, and somebody's telling you they're giving you some of that cake, but they're really just giving you crumbs, little laws, little legislations, little things that make you think that you're on equal footing, and you're really not on that equal footing with them. And after a while of doing that and then realizing you're only getting crumbs, you want the cake. So eventually you're gonna bust down that door to get that cake. And with these riots, that's what's happening. On the other hand, there are people who are not of color, Hispanics, whites, or those of that ilk, and some people of color who are just pandering to this movement, which you should stop. And you're using that to loot, get your TVs, break up. There's officers out there who are dressing up in black hoodies that are breaking up shops and setting these pit fires to make these buildings go up way faster, to make it look like the demonstrating is actually causing it when it's really you guys are fear mongering. And that needs to stop as well. Black people, we need to mobilize better. This rioting needs to be strategic. You need to probably go to the towns of these congressmen and your congress people, and yes, even though they're going to bring out the cops and stuff, you need to vandalize those neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods need to feel the wrath so that those people and those constituents can get together and put a stop to this and like, hey, we don't want this rioting happening no more. We're going to sign laws. We're going to give you justice. We're going to put this guy away for life. Or if, I don't know if the state gives the death penalty. I mean, I don't want to subscribe to the eye for the eye, but I mean, the act was heinous. So it's either that or life in prison, no parole, and that's it. And then that needs to be action across the board to all police officers. When you do something like this, there's no justification. You weren't saving lives. You weren't really doing your duty. You were just more either acting on either a racist impulse or an adequate impulse. You have to pay the price for that, because you've been trained to deal with all these situations. You can't give a "I was scared" when you supposedly had the sensitivity training to deal with combative members of society. So I really don't know what else to tell you guys. I want to get back out there marching with you guys. I've had some friends that went out and marched this past week or this week, and I commend you guys for doing that. Last march I was in, I think, was the first one, was and only was the Millions March. I always speak out on these things on social media, but to me sometimes that's not enough. Hopefully I can get back to that eventually, somewhere down the line. But we've been fighting. You've had James Baldwin, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton. Whether you look at these people, some of them as black combatives, and maybe don't look at them as people of the movement, they were. And they said the same things, and they marched, and they did all these things, and you still haven't heard us. The white people who are sitting on the sidelines, not getting involved, not making a voice, we've tried. So now when you see this stuff happening, don't be like, oh, you guys are just rioting. It's like, no, it's reached a boiling point where people are like, hey, I tried to talk to you. I sat with you in these offices. I came to the White House and talked to presidents. I sat there on social media and said what I had to say. We've shown you videos. Don't meet us with statistics of like, oh, well, whites get more killed than this and that, and there's black on black crime. Black on black crime, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. If you put me in a neighborhood where my neighbors are black, you're going to have crime amongst us. If you put a white person in a neighborhood where there's white people, there's going to be violence amongst the whites because they live in close proximity. If we live in a mixed neighborhood, you're going to get mixed deaths. Because, if somebody lashes out at somebody and does something heinous, it might be a white person to a black person, it might be a black person to a white person, but it's because they're in proximity of each other. There's a lot of things I want to speak on. With this vlog, I'm going to use that I'm going to use that to speak on these things, and if you join me, I mean, we may have the same insight, we may have different insight, you might not like anything that I'm saying. You can voice your opinion. I mean, people might be negative. I'm going to try to like quell that and not pay attention to it. So I'm letting you know, going forward, you're probably not going to get a response, and if I respond to you, I can jump out my conversation at any time, not to lose the argument, but to realize I'm not conversating with somebody with actual rational thought. So with that being said, but overall, you know, there needs to be changes on both sides. I feel there needs to be more unity amongst black people. You know, not in that like, you know, we need to be black. Again, we need to be black. Forget the I'm mixed, I'm half Italian, I'm half that. Why are you trying to make yourself better? Why are you trying to add things to enhance yourself? Let that be your heritage. Okay, I have like Dominican in my family, Indian, all kinds of stuff, Irish, but I don't call that out. If we have an intensive conversation about heritage, you may get to know that. But besides that, I'm a black man. Cops stop me, I'm a black man. I come to protest, I'm a black man. One, that's what I'm viewed as, but even not even being viewed as that, that's what I am, and I'm proud to be that. And maybe black is too strong a word because by definition what it's associated with. But as far as the dictionary is concerned, so call yourself African. Call yourself African American. Or learn what Africa really was supposed to be called. And call yourself that. You know, go to the motherland. Learn about the native tribes. Even if you're not of these native tribes, it's like that's all we have. Our history has been beaten out of us, so we can't fully connect back to it. But that doesn't mean you can't try to connect to some of it in some way. Let go of the stereotypes of like all Africans hate us. Yes, that might be true. There might be some, but that's not all. I mean, we just have to do things differently going forward. There needs to be a lot of police reform. There needs to be a lot of reform in our communities. I believe the Bloods and Crips need to reform. When are they going to turn into a Hell's Angels type group, where they're profiting in the community, not off illegal drug sales, but actual stores and shops and movements? I'd like to see one of them become an ambulance, and the other one become maybe people of the law. Start learning law. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, and they're probably like booing right now, but it's like, you know, like a Crip law firm, and you defend people like almost like a public defender. You defend people who have committed crimes, and you change the organization around. You can still be a gang, but just be on the side of the righteous and for your people. Become that community response and progress. Become brotherly. I don't even know what the acronym for Blood was. If anybody remembers it, just leave it in the comments. But still, become that. Let's build up in droves. Let's have something, and even make us a voice when it comes to a collective voice of voting, that these people will take us seriously. And also, if we're looking for a human plane, white brothers and sisters, we need to unite. You need to be allies and be vocal allies, not just like telling us you support us on the job or at the job or when we work. You know what I'm saying? Some of you go out to marches with your fellow brothers and sisters of color. Really protest peacefully. And if you are riding, strategically hit the people that need to be hit, not physically, but like stores and communities and stuff like that, to get your voice heard. And hopefully those people are not going to exactly retaliate, but they will see your pain, and then they will in turn, as they rebuild, let their Congress people know of the same town or same state, like, hey, you guys need to change this for these people because they're crying out. And hopefully when you have your issues, we can join you the same way and, you know, stand with you. I mean, there's probably a lot more to say on the matter, and I will speak on it, but I just wanted to get on here with the quarantine scruff, because we're supposed to be opening back up all things soon. So hopefully, you know, once we get there, you know, this will be over. So during the quarantine, I didn't want to like voice my opinions after. I wanted to, I guess, my little part as of right now, until I do something else, to join in and just give my support for the movement, not senseless violence, but the movement, to say that while I don't think you should be rioting your own towns, I understand that you've reached a boiling point, and sometimes actions do speak louder than words. I just hope the message isn't lost. But keep fighting. keep being vocal through your social media platforms, outside of social media platforms. Those who stand with us, I thank you. Those who stand against us, we always find a way to rise, even if we haven't risen to our totality in this situation. We always find a way to rise, so your evil will not prevail. And I just hope to talk to you guys more in the future. Anyway, I guess I have a couple vlogs up already, but this is the vlog LY, so I hope you join me. In future videos. It may not be as politicized as this, in this quarantine time, and and in this time of uprising. But some things will be funny, some things won't, some things will be serious, things I want to talk on. And also, Wise Vibe is coming soon. Might be more post-quarantine, but still working on that, trying to work on new music, new things, and I'll try to keep you posted on what I'm doing, whether the video is short or long. I'll try to bring it to you. I hope you guys are all being safe out there. Love y'all, and I will see you guys soon and talk to you soon. All right.